But I mean, I'm just saying, she was appointed to do so. And, White Oak is fine now, we've got White Oak fine. So in White's Creek, we need,
A chief judge?
well, we've got Carolyn Harden, that's
Okay.
who, well, Miss McCoy told me that she made this list up with the assistance of Gina and Chris and Miss Pay.
Oh, okay.
So that's who they've assigned Carolyn Harden.
Who's Wayne Thompson?
He's not,
So we got, he's not, that, he's on here, but he's not on here, okay.
he and Peggy Thompson.
That's Miss Pay's aunt and uncle.
So we need a Republican at White Street,
Right.
So that's the second one.
and there's no, they don't have any listed other than David Priest, and he's not working.
So it's gonna have to be a non-resident, which means we've gotta
Okay,
leave
move that.
two of them there, and then we'll have somebody from outside, a Republican, and then we'll be in compliance there. Okay, so,
Did we put contact anywhere?
well,
He's
he's,
gonna
still at
decide on the
Turnbull.
Turnbull,
Oh, he's at Turnbull.
what you
Okay.
gonna do there?
well, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna leave that up to you. Because the three there are in compliance. I'm just saying that Cynthia Jones is the one that was appointed by the board legally to be chief judge, but I'm not gonna have a hissy fit about that with you about that, but, you know, if she's listed as a judge, she's appointed as chief judge. I'll leave that up to you. No, I'm not speaking about other board members, we're looking at Turnbull.
Oh,
Phil Pontac was appointed to be a judge, though he is not a resident. Cynthia Jones was appointed to be chief judge, and she is a resident.
Now, as far back as I can remember, Phil has been chief judge. I don't know if Cynthia didn't want it, or I don't know what transpired.
So, how far back are you going? Cause this is 2017, and this is the 2017, 2019.
So basically what you're saying is, this is who was appointed, but they were not assigned according to their appointments. Maybe never assigned according to their appointments. If Phil Pontac was not appointed to be chief judge, but you said he'd been chief judge as long as you can remember.
Not me.
because on here it says Cynthia Jones is chief judge and Phil Pontac is the Republican judge. So,
And
I
he's
mean,
not a resident.
did they ever go by Vince?
No.
Is it?
Because what it says is, if a qualified resident, I mean, the chief judge has to be a resident of the precinct. Unless there is no one available, a non-resident can be temporarily appointed.
So,
And that temporary appointment ends as soon as, so what I'm saying is, if we wanted to cause a fit, and I am known to do so, I freely admit, we could insist on this being followed. I'm not saying I'm gonna do that, but I'm just saying,
Well, the board will make that decision.
right, you know,
So you're gonna just switch Cynthia and Phil.
yes, I think that's the right thing to do.
Okay.
She was appointed, she should serve unless the
she
board
lives in that district.
approved a switch, and
And she lives there.
And
yeah,
she
and you
lives-
can't appoint a non-resident over a resident. Not according to the law.
Okay, I have a question. If she says, I wanna work, but I don't wanna be chief judge.
Well, then you're gonna have to follow you're gonna have to switch them back, I guess. And see, you know, what we need to do, when new appointments are made in August, we need to, you know, avoid this whole thing. What's supposed to happen is the parties are supposed to contact people and say, are you willing to serve as chief judge? And then if you're not, they don't nominate you. That's what the Democratic Party did.
They don't know who they're gonna pick for chief judge.
No,
If the parties, each party nominates two people, then the board picks the chief judge and the two judges out of those four people.
no, the parties nominate two people for chief judge. Each party
Oh,
nominates
okay.
two people for chief judge, and each party nominates two people for judge. So you end up with 4 nominees, just like we did in this board, 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats, and then the board has to hash it out among themselves.
Okay.
But like the Democratic Party, we contacted the people that were nominated and said, are you willing to serve? And if they said no, then we didn't nominate them.
Okay.
You know, the executive committee gets together and does all that stuff. So we submitted, what I'm telling you is the Democratic Party submitted 2 nominees for each precinct. So there's no reason that there were any non-residents appointed as chief judges. That should have never happened. And I don't have any reason to think that Republicans did not nominate people as well. I don't know that they did, but I don't have any reason to think that they didn't. So there's no reason that there should be 6 people from one precinct serving as chief judges, particularly when most of them are members of the same family. There's no reason that should have ever happened. But it did, so now we're trying to straighten it out.
So is Turnbull straight now, Cynthia Jones and Phil Pontac? We made that switch.
And if she refuses, then you're gonna leave it the way it is, right?
Put it back.
I got no problem with that, that's her choice.
All right, White Street, what needs to be done there?
We cannot have all Democrats, they're all residents, but we
need a
cannot have all
Republican
Democrats.
judge.
So do we have a Republican we can put in?
Not David Priest, and he doesn't work anymore, I don't think.
Okay. He's the only Republican I saw on there. Mr. White? We have no idea.
No idea.
Well, you know, we can look at, if you can look at the list of who the poll workers are. There are plenty of Republicans in Bethel. There's 16 of them to choose from. Again, about half of them are members of the same family, or maybe more. But if we need a Republican filled in, like for example, we need a Republican filled in at Whites Creek
As a judge.
as a judge, then, you know, it looks like me like Bethel has plenty to offer. You should be able to find one of them that you can send down there. Because what we need is, we need a Republican to go to Abbott's as a judge.
Is Joyce Britt anywhere?
Joyce Britt.
Does she still work?
I've seen that name.
I see her name on the list.
This list.
She worked in the clerk's office.
The clerk of court? I'm sorry. They don't have
She's on here, on the appointed.
What about, is, Jill Ann Pate anywhere? Jill Ann Pate.
Is she a Bethel? She's a Bethel. person.
She's a Bethel person, and
She's assigned.
her
judge
assignment is
White
judge.
Oak.
What's her?
Bladensburg, Pleasant Grove Church Road.
But
And she go to White Oak?
here she was assigned as
I mean,
a judge for White Oak.
She is a,
huh?
but she's not serving at White Oak anymore. They've got a
Okay.
resident now. So she, no,
I don't think she can work this time.
Jill Page.
she's not been through training. She didn't go through training. Okay, then that's out.
Why is she on here as a judge then?
Well,
Well, there-
everybody
look,
on here
in
did
Hollow,
good training.
Stanley Long is on there as a judge. He has never worked in a poll, and he's never had any training, and doesn't want to work. He said he never wanted to work. He didn't know why his name was even on there, so
Who is that?
Stanley Long. Because I called him because he was the only Republican listed in Hollow. And he said he had never worked, never been trained, and didn't want to.
Oh,
She turned all off. Yeah.
Okay, so in Abbott's, we've got our chief judge, right? In Bethel, it's gonna be Melissa White. In Bladensboro, we're gonna leave Tim Page. Sad. Bladensboro 2, Michelle Maltsby, Brown Marsh, Mitchell Edwards, Carver's Creek, Amanda Brown. Central is going to be who? Because you said Deborah Page. Deborah Page is a resident of the
is
E-Town.
Alice, Gooden working anywhere?
She does.
She doesn't wanna work anymore.
So we don't have a chief judge for Central.
I believe we can find one right here. What's the name of that?
Why isn't Mr. Leon Cromartie working in Central? He's been there for years.
He I know he had a daughter sick at one point. I don't know if then he wasn't available to work other
I
times.
don't
I
think
don't.
he's available to work.
I see Vicky Stevens Bostic in Central. She has a white-up address, but she's a judge for Central.
But now Claire Adams and Althea McAllister was stay the same at Central.
Who is
We just need a
Althea
chief
McAllister?
judge.
Who is she?
Althea McAllister.
Yeah.
She lives in Elizabethtown, but
She's in E-Town?
she lives in Elizabethtown.
That's real.
I know.
She's been changed.
So,
So we gotta have a Republican there, right?
we're in Central.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Cromartie was appointed as chief judge there, and he was the chief judge there for as long as I can remember, I think. But he's a Democrat, but the only other person listed in Central is, what's her name?
Vicky Bostic.
And she's not working, did you say?
You said Vicky Bostic is not
She's a
working anymore?
Republican. You said she's not.
Oh, she's a Republican. Well, at least she's a resident.
And a
Isn't that what we need?
Mm-hmm.
What Central?
Well,
Yeah.
they
What
got
would
a
she do? I mean, she's a Republican judge, would she be a chief judge? Would it take more training for her?
How about Kathy Phillips Price? She's in
Huh?
Raleigh. Government Central.
Central.
Kathy doesn't work anymore.
She doesn't work anymore?
She used to work at College.
We're gonna have to do something to
Yeah.
recruit some more people from certain precincts.
I think if we do something publicly, we
Mhm.
might have some luck.
Mhm.
Just put it out there in the paper.
Who is, what did y'all say about Jones Cemetery Rock?
Oh, she said she didn't know her.
But everybody but except E-Town 2 is done on page 2, so that's good.
All right, so.
And we need a-
So Ellen Bryan is going to college, which she's a resident. We don't have anybody for Central. We're gonna leave Audrey Hale at Elizabethtown too.
Yeah, and you're gonna put who's going take Jessica Taylor's place?
Well, she can stay there.
She's a resident of Bethel too. Audrey Hill and Jessica Taylor are both residents of Bethel. They can't both stay in the county.
They moved her to somewhere anyway. They got her over here, Bethel. Jessica Taylor.
Oh yeah, that's right, we
Mhm.
McLean paid away from there. So anyway, yeah. If Audrey Hill's gonna stay there, Jessica Taylor has to be replaced. And it just, well, Audrey Hill's a Republican, so you could replace her with a Democrat.
Oh,
Jessica Taylor at E-County.
Okay.
do we have a Democrat to replace her? We moved,
Yeah, because, I mean, look at all the Democrats we've got to move because there can't be 3 Democrats in Abbott's.
okay, we moved, we took,
There can't be 3 in Carver
just-
did we
Springs.
take Jennifer Vaughn away? In Labor one?
We've got to, Tim Page will stay there. She's not a resident. But she
Okay, so-
doesn't have a Bladeboro resident to put there. I'd cry, but it doesn't have anything.
To cuss, we have to.
So E-Town 2, we need a Democrat or somebody to replace Jessica Taylor. So Kenneth Ray Carnegie is on this list.
Does he even still work?
I don't know.
I don't don't think he's worked on a
There's
long
some
time, has he?
unaffiliated Virginia Goss.
No, she doesn't work. I know she doesn't work.
So this, we need a
Miss Virginia
better
Goss, I
list.
don't know when she's ever worked.
She does volunteer at the hospital.
Yeah, she doesn't have worked in the polls.
Afton,
talking
Shaw,
about-
Toller.
Virginia Goss.
That lives down
That is
87.
Blake.
No.
Okay, so this list is exhausted. Tanya, this is a Democrat.
Okay, so
Tanya Smith,
in,
Tanya Williams, Tanya Smith
Where are
Williams.
you, Deborah?
I'm at Elizabethtown too. I'm stuck
On
there.
the master list?
I'm on both lists. On the poll workers list, under Elizabethtown too. But the last name on the list is Tanya Smith Williams.
Who's Deborah Page Benton? I mean, Deborah Benton Page.
Not
she's the
under
one that she said they
Elizabethtown
haven't been able to
too.
get in touch with,
Oh,
even
they
though
can't
she
get in
signed
touch.
as chief judge.
Okay, so put a star by her name.
I was thinking about Elizabethtown too for, you said move Jessica Taylor out of E-Town too.
Shirley White, is that your, who's that?
That's my wife.
I thought that was your wife.
Yeah, eliminate her.
That's right.
Yep.
Now, didn't we say that in Bethel, it was gonna be Melissa White as chief judge, Letha Pittman and Jessica Taylor as judges?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so that's good. So,
Can we move? No, we can't move her here.
but we gotta move Janice Blanks out of Abbotsford, so she can go where we need a Democrat.
Patricia Gaines.
She's gone too.
Yeah, Patricia Gainey. Isn't she, she lives in E-Town 1, doesn't she?
I think she
Yeah.
does.
She lives in E-Town 1. So in E-Town 1, Jill Owens is the chief judge and she's a resident there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same Jill that works in the,
She's just assistant. She's been assigned.
Registered people.
yes, Jillina is her name, right?
Janina Owens.
Deborah Gaines can be put,
Patricia Gaines,
Patricia
She's a
Gaines can
Democrat.
be put
she's a
in
Democrat.
the
What can we
E-Town
put?
too.
E-Town too?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's worked all over the place anyway.
Who?
Patricia Gainey. I think she was in Central last time.
So then that means E-Town two is good now?
Good.
Audrey, Pat, and then the Smith person.
Aisha.
Now,
Yeah.
who?
Mike.
My
Aisha.
I didn't
Not
even
Aisha.
try.
I didn't try either.
I knew
Yeah,
it
I
would
don't
ruin
try
her
to
name, so.
Okay, so, and
So that was
Hollow,
a Democrat.
Hollow is Helen, Mary, and Paige.
Right.
Lake Creek is Winifred, Clara, and Lincoln.
Mhm.
Turnbull, Cynthia, Phil, and John.
Mhm.
Right.
White Creek, we still got to do something with them.
They need a Republican.
Yeah. And White Oak is Juanita, Tracy, and Lauren.
White Oak is, so it's still White's Creek,
Got it.
Central, Carver's Creek,
And
and
Athens.
Athens.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. Not bad at all.
Okay.
And let's all remind ourselves that we don't ever wanna have to go through this again. So when we do it, all this, let's make sure.
When we do this, we'll do this, use this, for real. And then, your suggestion of having spares or
Emergency people.
emergency, yes, that's important. For judges and chief judges, as well as assistants, I think.
But you know, I
So
was,
may we go back, may I ask this question, please? May we go back to the parties and ask them to, excuse me, nominate? Or would that be our best bet to do, or do we continue to work from this?
Yeah.
So I think at this point you work from your list, but you do want to reach out to your parties and let them know that you
We're
know,
having difficulty.
you're having difficulties, and
Send
we
us the
know and they
people.
know that we're trying to
Do it right.
do it right and just fix things that
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we knew that were broken before.
right.
So
And I talked to the chairman of the Republican Party about this last week, and I talked to the chairman of the Democratic Party, and asked him to try to locate any documentation about previous appointees and everything, and the Republican Party as well, so that we could, and I also talked about how we wanna make sure that next time we all do a better job of it. So they're aware, but I guess it's too late to nominate new people, because that would mean we might get some nominations of people that had not had any training
Right.
whatsoever. And we definitely wanna work with what we've got trained out. And as I mentioned before, we might not be able to get it just right. And we, you know, and I think then we are bound to notify the state that we're out of compliance.
You just do make a good faith effort and due diligence and, you know,
Good
and then,
faith effort.
because again, what I was saying, the last thing that you know that you would wanna do is to put someone who's not trained, that may be worse.
Absolutely.
So that's why I was suggesting, is there a list of, not necessarily, you know, from the party nominating, but your assistants that you could pull from? I mean, a list of people who would be available, who would be, you know, the most, adept at picking up something, you know, a new role. Are you aware of anyone on your assistants list that you may wanna pull into a judge so that you could appoint?
The assistants are listed here, all of them
Okay.
are not being utilized though.
Okay,
That may be,
I think that's
that's a
what,
good starting
we
place
start
for now.
there instead of going to the parties. Let's
Mhm.
start there.
I agree.
Right.
Mhm.
And also, you know,
That's a
I think it
phone call.
might be, if you would give us a copy of people who are inactive, we
Yeah.
might be able to contact some of those people who haven't worked in a while, and they might be interested in working again, you know, for future elections or something. You know, sometimes people get burned out or get fed up.
Is that supposed to be on this?
These are
Or
all
inactive?
active.
These are all active.
All active.
But they're not, because like, as I said, Stanley Long is
Well,
not.
So let me,
He's on there.
But he's not supposed to be.
Right.
He said he never had
He
any
should
training.
be on
he
the
had never
inactive
worked.
list though,
let me make sure I understand the history. You can't find anywhere in the minutes, or you do have something from 2017 that the prior board appointed your judges. Is there,
the list that
But
they appointed
Ms.
them
McCoy
from.
said that she could not find any documentation
This
other
is
than
what-
this list. Is
so
that
you
right?
don't know if that list
Now,
is
this is
official
right.
or
This
not? So there's nothing in the minutes at this point that indicates that official action was
Not-
taken.
Not that we're aware of.
So I'm gonna suggest, and your attorney also recommended that once you make your determination today, you would then essentially go ahead and appoint today based on the ones that you are comfortable with. And make that appointment. I would then say for the ones that you are not sure about, some more work needs to be done, you wanna look through the assistance list, that you, maybe take a day or two to make those phone calls that you suggested. Go ahead and probably schedule, another meeting, unfortunately. I don't know if you should wait until next Tuesday, or maybe if you could get the list together, you could officially appoint them next Tuesday, but in the interim, we can get some of these individuals that you may find who may want to serve, and in addition to some assistants, emergency judges, and we get them back in here as quickly as we can to make sure that they have proper training. So today, if you could, the ones that you know, that, yeah, they're fine, they're in the proper, we're gonna move that, appoint them, reappoint them, or clarify the appointment, whatever you wanna call it, be able to publish that, and then I think you're like 4 or 5 that are kinda 4. So on those 4, let's see if you can work that assistance list, work together.